Imagine reading every book in a massive archive like this. Would that make you an expert on the world, or just on other people's opinions? In the early 19th century, America faced a crisis of identity. The nation was politically independent, yet it remained intellectually tied to Europe, relying on old world traditions to define itself. Ralph Waldo Emerson saw this cultural imitation as a critical flaw. He argued the young nation was starving its potential by feeding on secondhand knowledge. When a society relies on the lens of previous generations, it loses the ability to generate original thought. It stops seeing the world and starts merely memorizing it. Emerson's essay, Nature, served as the foundation for a new way of thinking, one that rejected the idea that truth had to be filtered through the past. In the old model, knowledge was inherited. It flowed from an institution, through a library, down to the student. Truth was a hand-me-down. Emerson proposed a direct connection. The individual doesn't need an intermediary. They find truth by looking directly at the world. To find something truly original, he argued that we have to step away from the institutional filters and seek direct experience. Emerson moved the search for knowledge out of the library and into the woods, viewing the forest as the ultimate unfiltered classroom. He described nature as a living mirror, a place where the cycles of the seasons and the growth of the trees reflect the inner workings of our own minds. This is where he introduces the concept of the transparent eyeball. It is a state of total presence, where the ego and societal biases vanish, leaving only pure awareness. By becoming transparent, you stop projecting your own expectations onto the world. Instead, you simply absorb the connection between yourself, the natural world, and the divine. For Emerson, a single hour of silent observation in the woods provided more spiritual clarity than any academic lecture ever could. In 1837, Emerson stood before the students at Harvard to deliver The American Scholar. He wasn't there to praise their books. He was there to challenge how they used them. He outlined 3 requirements for the independent thinker. First, nature, the primary teacher providing raw material for thought. Second, books, used as tools for inspiration, not masters to follow blindly. Finally, action. Without the friction of real life, thought becomes stagnant and theoretical. This original mind isn't a passive collector of facts. It is a person who lives, tests, and experiences their truths in the real world. The impact was immediate. The American Scholar became known as the country's intellectual declaration of independence, providing the spark for the transcendentalist movement. This shift in thought created the foundation for a spiritual democracy. It proved that greatness wasn't a privilege reserved for those in elite universities. If truth is found in nature, it is accessible to every person, regardless of their status. By moving the source of truth from institutions to individual perception, Emerson established that intellectual authority is no longer a matter of rank, but a matter of sight. Emerson's fear of imitation is especially relevant today, in an era where our view of the world is often limited to what appears on a digital screen. We now live in the ultimate second-hand knowledge machine, a system of feeds and algorithms that often delivers pre-packaged opinions before we've even had a chance to think for ourselves. Emerson's challenge to us is to trust our own independent voices. It is a call to look directly at reality without the comfort of a digital filter. Real awakening requires the same thing now as it did in 1837, the courage to stop merely reading about the world and the willingness to finally step outside and experience it.